everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and I like to talk about books, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books I want to read by the end of the year. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. I just have so many books I want to get to by the end of this year that either came out this year or have been on my backlist for a while. I'm not going to be able to get to them all. I just know it. It is already pretty much the end of November. I have 1 month left. That includes the holidays, the craziness, some time for rest and relaxation. I'm not going to be able to read all these books I want to read. So for today's video, as I show you these books, I would like for you to please let me know in the comments, what books do I really need to read and which can I kind of skip or like put off till 2021 or just take off my TBR altogether. So like I said, I have a lot of books, so I'm gonna go through them rather quickly, and it is up to you to help me decide what I actually read by the end of this year. So first I have In a Holidaze by Christina Lauren. This is definitely going to be on my TBR in December. This is a Christmas romance that I have been really excited for. I have had it in my hands for a couple weeks and I have just been waiting until December until I'm in a super Christmassy mood. This is a story about a woman who I guess goes through a breakup, and it's like Christmas time. She was visiting her family, and then she keeps reliving the same vacation over and over again until she gets it right or falls in love or something. And I just really love that trope, and especially in romance or like rom-com situations. So put that on a Christmas backdrop, have Christina Lauren write it. Perfect recipe for a great December book. On a similar vein, I also have Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. This is a young adult story about a girl who gets the ability to give instant karma to anyone, except it doesn't work on one person. It's like her arch nemesis, and then I think it's a romance from there. But I just love books that are set in the real world with weird magical twists going on. I think this sounds super cute. It is a little bit longer than I expected it to be. It's like 400 pages or so, which is kind of long for a young adult story, but I'm hoping it'll be really fast paced and just a good, cute, light, fluffy read for the end of the year. Next, I have a couple Backlist books. Now these books I've had on my shelf for a long time, some of them more than a year, and they are pretty popular. They've gotten great reviews. They're probably the highest rated on my TBR shelf, and I just don't know why, but that intimidates me and I end up not picking them up. So these are Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, The Girl with the Louding Voice, and Miracle Creek. You've probably heard me talk about all of these books being on my TBR for quite some time. If you have been watching my channel, I have told you guys, please yell at me, please make me read these by the end of the year, or let me know, are any of these like actually not worth reading by the end of the year? Like I doubt it because they have such high ratings, but I just need to do it. Maybe I'll do a video where I read all of these. Maybe they're all my highest rated. Maybe they are. Maybe I'll have to investigate. Let me know if that would be something you would be interested in. At least Miracle Creek and The Girl with the Louding Voice, I know, touch on really heavy topics and are very thought-provoking. I think Where the Crawdads Sing is more just interesting. I don't know. Haven't heard like as much details about why people love that, but these are just well-loved books. I just need to read them. I have so many people in my life who are not avid readers, and like these are the books that they have read, especially Where the Crawdads Sing, because these are just the types of books that are really popular that people who don't read a ton are usually picking up first. So then I'll have people ask me about these and I'm like, I know I read over 100 books a year, but I have not read those books, and it just feels wrong. So I just need to get these books read. Next, I have Group by Christie Tate. This is a new memoir that just came out. It is about a woman who goes through group therapy and her journey through that. I have been particularly interested in this book anyway because I just really like memoirs and I really like mental health memoirs. So this instantly caught my eye. I've also seen a lot of discourse lately about the unethical therapy that was done in this book, and I've seen a lot of criticism on it, so now I'm interested to read it to see what's going on in there. But I've also heard on the other side like that this is just a great story to see how therapy has helped this woman so much. There's just a lot of people talking about it right now, and I hate when I haven't read that book and then I can't join in on those conversations. So I do want to read this pretty soon. It's also fairly short, and memoirs for me tend to go pretty quickly when I read them. So I think this should be able to fit into my end of year schedule. Speaking of short books, I also have Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. I read 2 of Stephen Graham Jones' books this year, The Only Good Indians and Mapping the Interior. The Only Good Indians was a 2020 release. That was like a full-size 300-page book. It was a horror book. I like it more and more the more I think about it after reading it. When I first read it, I didn't love it as much. I was a little bit bored, but thinking about the power of that story afterwards, I do like it even more. And then I read Mapping the Interior, which is a short book similar to this size of this book. That was a 5-star read for me, absolutely incredible, and I loved it so much. So I'm very interested in Stephen Graham Jones' writing. Definitely wanted to pick up this new short little story about mannequins, and it's a horror story, and I think the mannequins come to life. I didn't want to read too much into it because it's so short, but yeah, this should be able to be a quick read over a weekend, maybe a cozy weekend reading vlog read. So I am super excited for this one. And the last of the sort of shorter books I have, this isn't necessarily super short, but that is Winter Counts. It is probably under 300 pages. It's like right at 300 pages, which is relatively short compared to the rest of my stack that we'll get into in a second. These books that just look thinner, I feel like I can guarantee I'll get through them quicker because I won't be as intimidated by them and I can flip through them quicker. But this is a new thriller that came out this year. It is a sort of crime thriller on an Indian reservation in South Dakota about the justice system, something about a drug cartel, and a man reclaiming his native identity. This is an Own Voices story as well. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I'm super interested to check it out. And then the rest of my stack is some thicker books that I really want to get to, but just looking at them makes me nervous because I just feel like it's going to take a long time to get through them, and then it's going to hold me back from the shorter books. And yeah, so if you've read any of these and you weren't super impressed by them, or you think they might be overhyped, let me know. So the first one is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. This is a new horror book that came out this year, something about witches, maybe Salem. I honestly don't know too much about it, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. I thought the cover was stunning. I'm just super interested to check it out. The author is also based in South Carolina, which is like kind of close to local to me, which is always interesting to read. I think there's also like dark foresty vibes in this, which is always fun. I really wanted to read this in October, but I ended up just not getting to it. But I still think it could be a good fun read to get to by the end of the year, even though it's not really spooky season anymore, because it's always spooky season in my heart. Next, I have Disappearing Earth by Julia Phillips. I was under the impression that this was a like literary fiction, environmental type story, but I think it's actually like a mystery or a thriller. So clearly you can tell I don't read much about what my books are about before I pick them up. But yeah, this is another one where there are woods and forests somewhere between Japan and Alaska. Propulsive, engaging, told through a young writer's virtuistic feat of empathy and imagination. It's also based in Russia. There are 2 girls that go missing and then an investigation into that. This is also a National Book Award finalist and one of the 10 best books of 2019, according to the New York Times Book Review, so it's been highly praised. I'm super interested in it. It's been on my TBR for a couple months now, so I would really like to get this read by the end of the year. Next, I have The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. I think I've talked about this book enough this year for you to know what it is, and I'm highly anticipating it because I really love Stuart Turton's first book. I'm just really interested in the ocean vibes of this one, the mystery that's going on. It just sounds like such a cozy book to read at the end of the year, but it's also over 400 pages. So I'm gonna read it this year though, I have to. He has the potential to be one of my favorite authors. I can't just like ignore his new releases, you know? Next, I have The New Wilderness by Diane Cook. This is another book that has been highly praised. It's another book that I don't know a ton about. I think it's an eco-thriller type story. I don't really want to read too much into it. I would like to be surprised. I'm also seeing it was blurbed by Emily St. John Mandel, which just seems like the type of vibe that I was expecting the story to be. Sort of similar to Station 11's vibe, not so much The Glass Hotel. Yeah, I'm really interested in this one. I do like environmental stuff, so I hope it is environmental. But it's just one of those books that I haven't heard a bad thing about, so I'd really like to read it. And then the last book I have is the thickest book I have on this stack. It is over 500 pages, and that is Jane Eyre. I have wanted to read Jane Eyre for many, many years. As you probably know, this is a classic by Charlotte Bronte. I love this edition that I got from Barnes & Noble. I think it's so gorgeous, and I really just feel like I'm gonna love this story from what I know about it. I haven't read a classic in a long time. I need to read more classics. I'm thinking about doing a reading vlog for this in December. I usually do one reading vlog a month of a larger book or a popular book, so I'm thinking this could be my December one. So let me know if you're interested in that. That'll also really help motivate me to finally read this chunky book. One of the big reasons I want to read this by the end of the year is because there's this movie I really like, and there's a character in it who says she reads Jane Eyre every year at Christmas time, and she gets something different out of it each year. So I just have this perception that this is like a winter season type book, and that's a good time to read it. If you've read Jane Eyre and you don't think that's correct, let me know, because I want to make sure my expectations aren't like super skewed for this and it's like not fitting the mood that I'm in. But yeah, I would really like to get through this year and hopefully do a reading vlog for it to really help motivate me to get it done. So these are all of the books on my end of year TBR. It is quite a lot. I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them. So like I said, please let me know if there's any of these that you think are just overhyped or maybe would be more enjoyable in a different season of the year. Because at this point, I really want to make sure I'm prioritizing books that have the potential to make it on my most favorites list for the end of the year. I'm going to put these down because they're really heavy. Hold on. Yeah, like I said, at this point, I want to make sure I'm prioritizing books that have the potential to be some of my new favorites. So if there's anything that you think I can put off, please let me know. Or if there are any of these that you're super interested in seeing me read by the end of the year, that would also be helpful to know what would be interesting to prioritize for you guys. And then hopefully I'll be able to narrow this stack down a little bit. I also know I'm going to be reading things other than this by the end of the year because I just know myself and that I am a mood reader, and sometimes I just need a really short book to get through really quickly to feel like a win, or a graphic novel or something. So there will definitely be more than this on my channel by the end of the year for sure, because I know I'll be reading other stuff too. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of my reading goes for this year. Let me know if there are any books you're prioritizing for your end of the year list, and how many books you are planning to read by the end of the year. I'll probably get through another at least 15 in December. That seems to be my average number for each month at this point. Could be more because I'll be less busy and have some time off work. So we'll see. The end of the year will be a surprise to everyone. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.